Hi. Welcome to my short video on how to get exactly what you want. J. Paul Getty was quoted for his formula for success: rise early, work hard, strike oil. I'm a huge supporter of the practice of rising early. But regardless of when you wake up, the other two actions in this formula are work hard and strike oil. When I first ran across this quote 10 years ago, I had to laugh, because it looked like Getty was saying you have to work hard and hope to get lucky. But a decade later, I can see the more relevant meaning, and I'm about to share with you why Getty's concept, perhaps more than anything else you might ever read, could be what gets you everything you want for the rest of your life. It's all about your expectations, in short. It all comes down to your personal expectation as to whether or not you're going to strike oil. That's it. But you're not going to work hard in the first place unless you have a strong enough expectation that you'll be successful. This is just how life works. Your motivation to take action, and to follow through until the job is done, is directly proportional to your belief that you will succeed. If you break this concept down to the simplest parts, what you have is this: when you believe strongly enough that you will succeed at something, success is practically guaranteed, not because your belief creates the result, but because you don't give up taking action on a massive level until you get what you want. When you believe that success is inevitable, you are able to put aside the idea that failure, in the conventional sense, is a bad thing. Instead, it's just a specific attempt that you can learn from. You know that whatever it is you're doing, it's adding value that will eventually translate into the result you want. That unwavering belief lets you focus your thoughts on questions like "how can I?" rather than "why can't I?" The perspective of certainty gives you the ability to see obstacles as not these things that stand in your way, but instead as challenges that fuel your growth. I've paid my dues. Experienced this myself as a 10-year-old kid in Brooklyn, New York. A horrible turn of events led to my mother getting murdered, my father going to prison for life, and me ending up all but homeless until I was taken in by a relative who was both an alcoholic and a drug user. Years later, after I escaped the constant surroundings of drugs and violence, people remarked to me how surprised they were that I had avoided getting involved in drugs, alcohol, or any of the gang activity that was so pervasive during those years. Those things were problems other people got involved in, but not me. In fact, I viewed the daily challenges I faced as tests that were there to make me stronger, so one day my life could make some kind of difference. And poof, that's exactly what happened. The point of all this is that all of my actions were driven by a firm belief that I would succeed eventually. That I would get through it all and come out okay on the other side. While it sounds good on the surface, it's not perfect. Sure, you could say what you would attempt if you knew you couldn't fail, but that doesn't help you when your brain is shouting, "Hey dummy, you're probably going to fail. Don't you realize that?" The original question is a good start, but it needs to be taken a step further. Instead of wishful thinking about what could happen, I found a better question is more along the lines of what will you attempt knowing that you will ultimately succeed, despite all the failures that are sure to come along the way? Because, face it, life is going to throw some pretty rough stuff over to you. You're going to have a lot more go wrong than you'd ever hoped for. An expectation, in its most literal sense, is a certainty that a specific result will occur. If you've got a major goal that you want to achieve, you need to have at least 5 things straightened out before you can really attack it full force. Number 1, you have to have the expectation that you, specifically you, can achieve this goal. This one is a biggie. People typically have a lot easier time believing something is possible than believing it's possible for them. they don't fully believe that they will be capable of achieving a goal because they are missing something, the time, the talent, the resources, whatever. They have an unwritten expectation that they will not be one of the people who has what it takes. That's a load of garbage. If this is you, you need to fix this first. Number 2, you have to have the expectation that you will close the resource gap, no matter how wide it is. This one is also a biggie. It's easy to look at a large goal and feel like the distance between it and you is too wide. After all, how can you compete with the biggest successes in the world, who are already established? But if you have the expectation that it will eventually be resolved, guess what's going to happen? Number 3, you have to have the expectation that you will find a solution to every problem that will inevitably come your way. Everyone. You can't guarantee a problem-free life. But you can guarantee that you see a problem as an opportunity, so rather than being drained by the challenge, you are energized. Every damn one. This is critical. When you think taking action won't matter in the long run, you simply won't do it. But when you recognize that action accumulates, that the pyramids are built brick by brick, and every one matters, you'll be willing to take action even when you don't feel like it and your heart's not in it. Remember, everything you matters. If you don't think it does, then you need to make that shift as well. This is what $1 Million Leverage is all about. By holding on to the firm expectation that you can find ways of leveraging all your resources, you'll be subconsciously looking for ways to make that happen, and as a result you'll find a lot more of them, and that will get you to your goal faster. Much faster. So, I hope I've sold you on the power of expectation to get what you want, to strike oil, whatever that means to you. If not, then read this article again and again until it sinks in. Please click my link below for more details. Bye.